Hello and welcome to this first devlog. My name is Robin, also known as Grimcore. During the daytime I work on Valheim, and in the evenings I work on my personal projects, and in this case it's Project God Queen. God Queen is a roguelike first-person dungeon crawler. I guess that's what I intend it to be. I have no idea how much that will change during the development of God Queen. I think the whole idea is to try to keep it as a roguelike. I know that I want first person combat, meaty combat, and I want you to find stuff, weapons that will help you get to the God Queen and slay her. So basically, you start out by playing this character. She's a woman called Anea. She was a warrior acolyte of the current God Queen, who's called Anoth. Anea, the main character, she disobeys Anoth, doesn't want to do what she tells her to do, so the God Queen basically just kills her, throws her down into the pits of the citadel where Anoth resides. She is then resurrected by a Fleshbinder. So this Fleshbinder has found Anea, and he has made a device, or he has crafted out of flesh and out of bones and skin and internal organs. He's created this machine or a chamber that can resurrect Anea, which he does. Now that she is back to life again, she wants revenge. She wants to kill Anoth. So this is where you start the game, where you take control of Anea. You get a weapon in the beginning, and you have a Fleshbinder for yourself, which should be pretty cool. As he only worked for the God Queen before, he's able to now help you instead and augment and upgrade you as the player. So you can go to the Fleshbinder, and when you get some blood vessels, you can give him the blood vessels and he will repay you in upgrading some stats. And I wanted to keep the stats and everything very simple. I wanted to have like very few big attributes, and I wanted these attributes to affect more secondary attributes. But I wanted to make it very clear, very simple. And maybe I'll flesh that out further down the line. But for right now, I'm very satisfied with how the system works with the attributes. Which also then ties into how weapons. So weapons is how you how you kill stuff, but this is your tool to getting forward in the game. So in my mind, I wanted the weapons and the combat to feel very meaty, but I wanted to be very simple. So I just one day played around with the idea, but what if I just attack with the left mouse button and I block with the right mouse button, and they drain stamina. That sounds basic and simple enough, right? Yes, it is. But then I found that killing enemies and everything, it was fun to block them. It was easy enough to kill them. But then I just tried to implement that enemies can block you as the player, which made everything so much more interesting. And I'm sure there's a lot of other games out there that has the same system. But it just, for me, when I tried this out, it felt really nice. Because it was like, it started to feel like a sword fight. Because I'm draining them and they're draining me as well on my energy. So I have to think a little bit tactically. What am I doing now? Do I use my last energy on trying to kill the opponent, or block and play more defensively? I also wanted, like, I wanted the enemies to actually damage you a lot. So it feels meaningful taking a hit or not taking a hit. And here's where the attributes also come into play, so you can actually just get more health if you want to, if you feel like the game is too difficult. So I think I've found a kind of good marriage between the combat, the weapon, the combat, and punishment and attributes. They go pretty well in hand right now. But the idea further down the line is to get more weapons into the game, more kind of variety in playstyle. And I want to make like not like the normal weapons. Like in the beginning, you get a sword right now, and that's good and fine. It feels nice to have like a baseline weapon. It's not too fast, it's not too slow, it doesn't do great damage, it doesn't do bad damage. And then I think it was like 2 weeks ago or something like that, I made the first mace, the mauler. But then I was like, oh, would be really cool if I had 2 of them instead. And so I made those as well and tried them out, and it really feels like a totally different playstyle. Okay, playstyle. They're a little bit slower. So it means that faster enemies will be able to hit you first if you don't find a gap. You have to play a little bit more defensively with them, sometimes at least. So that's going to be fun trying to come up with the third weapon to come into play as well. My current idea of what to do, what I'll be doing this weekend, is to start working on the boss. I have an idea for the boss, and I've already started on making the boss, because I feel like I really need to sit down and just, even though the level isn't that big, I can actually just tune it however I want right now, how many rooms I want, because it's created in the beginning of the play session. But I feel like right now I should be focusing on making the first game loop. So you start out, you choose your attributes, you get your weapon, you jump down, you go through the dungeon, you kill everything you see, or you just run past them if you want to. You get the blood vessels, or maybe you find weapons down there as well. I could try putting that in as well. But I want you to get to the boss, kill the boss, and then upgrade yourself. Or maybe before entering the boss room would be cool to upgrade as well. I don't know. We'll have to see. But I think it would be good to get the first boss into the game, just so you get the first loop. And that's my current plan. And that's my first devlog, I guess. I don't know. Maybe I'll do more. Depends on what people think. This was basically a summary of what I've done so far, put into the game. Make it simple, make it easy, no overcomplicated systems. Make it so there is nice feedback when you play combat. Make it interesting to start over again. I didn't talk about artifacts, but I guess I'll save artifacts for the next episode, because artifacts is something you can find to boost your character. But anyways, thank you for coming and listening. I'm very, very interested in hearing what you guys think. What do you think about the art style? What do you think about the gameplay so far? Is there something lacking? Obviously there's a lot of things lacking, but is there something specifically that you think is lacking? I plan to be releasing some kind of devlog every 2 weeks or every month, at least, just to keep myself in the loop as well, and just to have something to compare to and go back to and watch. And I thought it would be fun for some of you guys who appreciate what I do to see what I'm doing. As soon as I have an alpha build, I'll be looking for some people to test it out. Hopefully there will be an alpha around Christmas, I guess. It all depends on how fast the boss goes, working on that and so on. But we'll see. I'm just taking one step at a time. Thank you so much for staying and listening and watching, and I'll see you in the next devlog. Over and out. Bye bye bye.